There are two important principles followed in democracy, that is majoritarian and inclusiveness. So whether majoritarian is suitable or inclusive, which is good in democracy, whether these two have to be followed in a different situation or any one of this. So let's find out what is the impact when majoritarian principle is followed in democracy and inclusiveness. How it will be if inclusiveness is followed in a democracy. These two we will discuss with taking two examples, that is Belgium and Sri Lanka. So how is the result and impact of a majoritarian principle and inclusiveness here? Belgium, look at the map given here, that is Belgium, which is one European nation. Its capital city is Brussels. This is the map one, shows Belgium. It's a capital city Brussels. Here in Belgium, we find different regions with different community people. Okay, one is orange color, very small one shown here. That is the capital city, what you call Brussels. Here it is there. This is the capital city. Instead, in this capital city, what you call, we find one particular group of people. Next is Wallonian. Which one? Wallonian. Okay, this is, look at Wallonian region. This is to the south of Belgium. Here French people are living. That means people living here speaking French language. Which region? Wallon region. Where is Wallon? To the south of Belgium, in the southern part of Belgium. Sorry, southern part of Belgium is called Wallon. The next another region is there, that is Flemish, and there Dutch speaking people are living. Flemish region also there in Belgium. Then another one, we see that German speaking people, these people are at east side. Which side? East side they are living. Look at here. This is the east, understand? And here little bit is there. So how is majoritarian principle and inclusiveness? Okay, Belgium is one small European country. Out of its total population, 59 percentage of people lives in a Flemish region, and they are speaking Dutch language. It means 59 percentage of the Belgium people speaking Dutch language, and another 40 percentage of people living southern part of Belgium, that is Wallonia. There French is spoken by them. It means 40 percentage of the Belgium people speaking French language. 59 percentage of the people speaking Dutch. So, who are majority are Dutch people are majority in whole nation. Their ratio is 59 percentage. Right? This is throughout the country. And 1 percentage of Belgians speaking German language. They are at east side. These are minority. This is the composition of a population in entire nation. Coming to the capital city in Brussels, we find here in capital city 80 percentage of people speaking French and 20 percentage of the people are Dutch speaking. So what is the point here to understand in a national level? That means at a whole national level, we find Dutch speaking people are majority. And these Dutch speaking community who are majority at national level, they are minority at capital, that is Brussels. In capital, 80 percentage people living in Brussels speaking French. So who are majority are French speaking people are majority at capital. So this is a different composition we find in Belgium. Okay. So here minority French speaking community was very rich and powerful. Throughout the nation, we find French speaking people are a minority. They are very rich and powerful in what you call the nation. And here, this was presented by Dutch speaking community because Dutch people claiming that they are minority. Who are minority? French speaking people are minority. They are rich and powerful. They are enjoying what you call the benefits in the nation. So this created a conflict, a tension between Dutch speaking people and French speaking community from 1950s and 1960s. And this tension, this conflict between French and Dutch speaking communities was very severe when it comes to capital city. At a national level, we find there is a conflict, but this conflict was very severe at a capital city, Brussels. In Brussels, we find a specific problem. Dutch speaking people constituted a majority in the nation, right? Because they are 59 percentage. And these Dutch who are majority at national level, they are a minority at a capital level. Yes, because minority in the sense they are 20 percentage to the Dutch speaking people, right? So Dutch speaking people felt that they were majority at a national level, but minority at a capital level. So they wanted that they should get a right contribution in entire nation as well as a capital city. This is about what to call Brussels, understand, where we see that a different composition is there. We'll come back to this again. Now let's look into the Sri Lanka also. Okay, here Sri Lanka is one what to call nation, island nation. It is in Indonesia, in Indian Ocean. It is to the south of India, right? In Sri Lanka, also we find diversified people. That is what to call different people speaking different languages we find in Sri Lanka. Okay, there the majority social groups in Sri Lanka are Sinhals. Who are that? Sinhals. They are 74 percentage, and 18 percentage of the population are Tamil speaking people. So who are majority? Sinhals. Who are minority? Tamil speaking people are minority. And most of the Sinhal speaking people are following Buddhism. Their religion is Buddhism. So 74 percentage of the Sri Lanka population are following Buddhism. They are Buddhist. And 18 percentage of the Sri Lanka population who speak Tamil, they are Hindus and Muslims, right? So by the religion, who are minorities? Hindus and Muslims. And who are majorities? Buddhist are majority. Okay. So here, should the majority communities views prevail in these two countries? In Belgium, we have seen that Dutch speaking people are majority. In Sri Lanka, Sinhal are majority, right? So whether to consider all the people's opinion in making the policies or to focus on a majority community people. It means the question is whether while making laws and policies, the representatives who formed the government uh, does they should support the majority communities. If they support majority communities, what happens there, right? If they take inclusiveness, that is taking considering all the communities, what will be the result? Okay, so let's look that if majority communities are preferred, what happens in these nations, right? Let's look into the majoritarian in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, they preferred supporting to the majority community. 1 year after Indian independence, Sri Lanka got independence in 1948. Okay, Sri Lanka got independence in 1948, and the leaders of Sinhal community. Look at this is the map showing Sri Lanka. Here you find three colors: yellow, orange, and brown. Yellow is the water representing Sinhals, those who are majority, that is 74%. Then next is orange. They are 18% of the population, that is Tamil speaking people, right? And brown, that is Indian Tamil people. Indian Tamil in the sense Tamil people living India migrated and settled in Sri Lanka, that is called Indian Tamil people. And light brown is there, that is Muslims. Understand? This is the what composition of a population in Sri Lanka. Okay. So after getting independence in 1948, they preferred a majoritarian principle. It means majority leaders, majority people, from there the leaders of Sinhal community, they wanted to secure them and dominant on government by the majority of their community. These Sinhals established dominance over the government. So what happened here? So democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish Sinhal supremacy. In overall population, Sinhals are the majority. So according to the majoritarian community, the government elected by majoritarian community supported to the majoritarian community. Who are majoritarians? They are Sinhals. So elected representatives, they focused to Sinhal community. Various policies favoring, benefiting to the majority community adopted by Sri Lankan government, and this led to establishing majority community supremacy in Sri Lanka. Sinhal, which is a language spoken by majority community people, was made official language. That means everybody has to speak and communicate every transaction document in Sinhal language, which is the language of dominant community, that is Sinhals. There they rejected a minority community language, that is Tamil. That means there was no recognition to the Tamil people. Their language is rejected. Government followed the policies which preferable to the Sinhals. That means preferential policies. What in by preferential policies? Policies supporting to the Sinhal. Policies supporting and benefiting to the Sinhal community adopted by the government in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka government provided jobs for major community Sinhals. A new constitution which drafted there, that says that state shall protect and implement Buddhism. The new constitution focusing to implementing religion of dominant community, that is Sinhal community religion Buddhism. And constitution stated that state has to protect Buddhism, which is the religion of a major community. So all these government measures coming one after the other created a sense of partiality, a sense of discrimination, a sense of alienation. That means separation of minority community people, especially Sri Lankan Tamils. Sri Lankan Tamils, they felt that they were neglected. There is no due share to them. Their feelings are not considered. and their language is not considered, their culture is not considered. Finally, we see that they felt that they were separated. They were not part of the Sri Lankan nation. Such a feeling generated in Sri Lanka by the government preferring the policies for a major community. So, as a result, by the what to call a series of policies coming for the favorable for the favor of majority community people, that created problem and tension in minority community people. There, the minority community people, they felt that there is no respect and consideration to their opinions. So Sri Lankan Tamils, Tamil people living in Sri Lanka, that is called Sri Lankan Tamils. They wanted to fight for equality, so that they set up various political parties and struggled for equal status. And they demanded autonomy to the regions where what to call population by Tamils was repeatedly denied. They wanted that autonomy to provinces populated by Tamils that was repeatedly rejected by the government. See, we have seen the map of Sri Lanka. In certain regions, we found that Tamil speaking people are majority. So here, these Sri Lankan Tamil people, they wanted, they should enjoy autonomy in the regions where they were majority. That was the demand they kept in front of the government. And this demand was rejected, not accepted. Several times, the demand of the autonomy to Sri Lankan Tamils where they are living was denied, rejected. Denied in the sense rejected by the government. So, what happens finally when their opinion, their demand is rejected? Ultimately, we see that it creates a revolution there. So, by 1980s, several political organizations also formed that demanding an independent state, okay, in a northern and eastern parts of the Sri Lanka, where Tamil Sinhals are majority. That means Sri Lankan Tamils are majority. Where they are majority, they are in a northern part of Sri Lanka and eastern part of Sri Lanka. We find they are majority. So they wanted that to create a break, a bifurcation of the Sri Lanka, as they were not considered, their views are not considered, their demand is denied repeatedly, they are not getting due share, as they were not enjoying equal status. This made them to move out of the what Sri Lanka to create their own state. Okay, that is Tamil Elam. Tamil Elam. It is a Tamil language. Elam in the sense state. Okay, so Tamil speaking people living in Sri Lanka are called Sri Lankan Tamils. So Sri Lankan Tamils demanded that they should stand for independent state, right? And this what you call turned to a major conflict between Sri Lankan Buddhist people and Sri Lankan Tamil people. So the distrust between these two communities that turned to a major conflict. There was no trust between the two communities. Majority community Sri Lankan Buddhist, they looked Sri Lankan Tamils as their enemies. Minority community Sri Lankan Tamils felt that they are not treated equally and there is no security, safety for their culture and them, their future in Sri Lanka. So that created a wide conflict started between the two communities, understand, and this created a civil war in Sri Lanka. See what has happened finally here, a civil war started in Sri Lanka just because of following the majoritarian principle. Sri Lankan government followed preferential policies to majority community. Minority community was not given equal status with the majority. Minority community people were neglected here. Understand? So in Sri Lanka, they followed majoritarian principle. When they followed majoritarian principle, what happened here? A civil war started by minority community people, creating one extremist organization, that what we call LTTE, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. This is one extremist organization started under the leadership of Prabhakaran. Prabhakaran was the leader of LTT. They wanted to establish their own rule on certain provinces where Tamil people are majority. Understand? So in finally this led to war between what to call government and LTT. Okay, government and LTT. Understand? So in the final war, we see the Sri Lankan army defeated the LTT, and it also established a brutal control on the what to call a minority community people. Brutal in the sense what here they followed cruel policy, that is mass killing. Many of the Tamil people were hunted in Sri Lanka. Understand? So that was a brutal control on the provinces by killing the majority Tamil people. Majority means maximum. Thousands of Tamil people were hunted there. Okay, killing and uprooting thousands of Tamil people. Many families were forced to leave the nation. So many Tamil people living in Sri Lanka, they left Sri Lanka as refugees and migrated to other parts, especially they migrated to India as a refugees instead. So many more lost, many Tamil people lost their livelihoods. And whereas prior to the civil war, before to the civil war, there was an excellent record of development in Sri Lanka. Understand? Excellent record, that is about development. It means there was economic progress in Sri Lanka. Economically, Sri Lanka was moving towards development before to the civil war. And education also very good. Education levels also good. Many of the people are receiving education. Their health condition also good. This is the position before to the civil war. What happened after the civil war? It was completely what to call pushed into the trouble. Okay, there was a terrible setback in the development. Whatever the development it achieved in terms of education, economics, and health, all that Sri Lanka had lost. Once again, Sri Lanka was pushed back in social, cultural, and economic life just because of following the majoritarian principle. Okay, as they prefer to the policy benefiting to the majority community people, that made the minority Tamil speaking people to raise their voice and turn to a civil war, and that civil war disrupted civic life and disturbed the what government. Finally we see that there was a destruction, and what the development Sri Lanka has achieved, it turned to back. All the development progress it achieved, that was gone. This is the result of what a majoritarian principle as Sri Lanka followed after independence, giving preference to only majority community people. Democracy is a government we find there all people have to take part. Democracy gives respect for minority community. We have studied in the principle in earlier class. Democracy requires respect for law and minority opinion. Though representatives are elected by the majority community people, they should focus, listen to the voice and opinions of the minority community. Right? This is the what a critical thing we find in democracy. Leader must be efficient, understand? He must be in a position to convince all community people when making a policy in legislature, in the parliament. That policy should represent the interest of all community people, including minority community people. Then only third nation will move forward. Minority community people also feel that they are safe and secured. There is equal status to them. Okay, this is very important point to be followed. That means majoritarian will not work out in democracy. It will work out on simple situations. Okay, that means in a critical situation when the problem is severe, there we should not focus to the majoritarian one. Okay, so when problem is severe, it is going to affect every community. The problem is going to affect every community. At the time, the government has to focus on inclusive principle. Right? This is a what a majoritarian principle, how it resulted in Sri Lanka. Finally, what we have seen, Sri Lanka what to call a turn to a terrible setback. Okay, this is what you call Sri Lankan example to understand what happens when majoritarian principle is followed. Next, we